come closer, because today the talk is going to be straight and without patience. If you're one of those who thinks you already know everything about what keeps a woman hooked on you, get ready. The reality check is going to hurt. Most of you out there live in a ridiculous fantasy, believing that being the nice guy, the desperate-to-please type, full of gifts and affection, will ensure she keeps thinking about you. Pure illusion. The truth is bitter, but it needs to be swallowed. A woman doesn't waste time thinking about the guy who crawls. She thinks about the man who has value, who doesn't accept crumbs, who challenges and provokes in a way no other man does. Now let's get real, because most guys have this pathetic idea in their heads that the ideal man is the one who's always chasing her, pampering her, as if he's her last chance at attention. What a joke. The eternal doormat, her personal rug, only there to satisfy her every whim. But the truth you haven't understood yet, and it's more than time to get it, is that this nice guy is only good for one thing: being used and discarded. The guy who stays in her mind, the one she truly desires. That's the guy she secretly wants when the nice guy isn't around. Ready to face the truth? Then hold on tight, because today I'm going to rub it in your face. The 7 types of men a woman never forgets. But I'm warning you, only keep listening if you've got the guts to change. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Let's get into it, because the truth hurts, but it sets you free. Number 1. The one who knows being clingy isn't being romantic. Let's kill this illusion once and for all. What drives women away isn't a lack of romance. It's the disgusting overload of attention that, let's be honest, nobody can stand. Do you really think sending good morning, good afternoon, good night, good midnight, and showering her with endless flowers and declarations will make her fall for you? Wake up! Not even you would put up with that kind of thing for long, so why on earth do you think she will? Romance isn't the problem. It's your total inability to gauge things. There's a clear line between showing interest and smothering someone's personal space. And you know what? Most guys trip hard over that line, and then they wonder why she ran away. The man who stays in her mind is the one who understands that less is more. It's not about disappearing completely, but it's also not about being her shadow, glued to her every move. The guy she doesn't forget is the one who shows up when it matters, who does things at the right time. He's not the desperate puppy, always available, but the one who knows how to measure his attention, leaving her wanting more. And that wanting more, my friend, is what keeps her thinking about you. The anticipation, the space to miss you, that's what counts. Now, if you're the type who thinks more presence means more interest, hate to break it to you, but you're playing against yourself. More messages, more calls, more "I'm here" only lead to one thing: distance. Want her to miss you? Let her breathe, man! Give her time for that longing to appear, for her to realize the value of your presence. So, the next time your fingers itch to send another message because she took 5 minutes to reply, breathe and hold back. Want to be the guy she never forgets? Learn not to suffocate and to give attention in the right dose. Number 2, the one who doesn't wait for life to pass. Look, it's almost funny how many guys love to say, women don't know what they want. But I'm going to hit you with a bitter truth. You don't know either, do you? How many times have you sat there waiting for her to decide everything? Should we go out? Only if she wants. Is there going to be a trip? Only if she plans it. Then when she gets tired and loses interest, you still have the nerve to complain. Of course, she's going to lose interest. What woman wants to carry the relationship on her back all by herself? She wants a man who knows what he wants in life, who takes initiative. The man she can't stop thinking about is the one who not only agrees with her ideas, but also proposes, takes the lead, and pulls the reins. He's the guy who doesn't just sit around waiting for her to make things happen. And you know what's even more interesting? She never knows what to expect from him. That element of surprise? It's what keeps her fascinated. While the guy who only reacts fades into the background, the one who takes initiative is taking up VIP space in her mind. Now, are you scared to take the lead because, I don't know, you're afraid of being rejected? Or worse, afraid of being called controlling? Grow up, man! There's nothing more attractive than a man who makes decisions with confidence, without being bossy, but who knows what he wants and takes action. If you keep waiting for her to do everything, let me tell you, another guy who knows how to lead will show up, and she won't think twice. So, next time you feel like complaining that women only want bad guys, look in the mirror and ask yourself if it's you who's standing there, letting her do all the work. Wake up and start showing that you can lead too. Because if you don't, she'll find someone who can. Number 3, the one who knows how to live without her and does it with class. Let's set the record straight. Do you really think clinging to her as if your life depends on it will make her value you? Please, let me explain something most guys still don't get. The man she truly values is the one who doesn't need her to breathe, who doesn't act like she's his last chance at happiness. This guy has his own life, his own projects, and guess what? She feels compelled to earn a place in his world. That's the secret! If you act like a needy dog, accepting every scrap of attention she throws your way, it's over, you've already lost. There's no way a woman will have constant desire for a guy who lives for her. The man who stays hammering in her mind is the one who knows how to take a step back, showing that if she leaves, he'll be just fine, thank you very much. He's not desperate, not waiting on standby 24/7 for the next petting session, and definitely not willing to be treated like a consolation prize. This man has his own life, his own ambitions, and it's precisely that independence that makes him irresistible. She knows he can move on at any moment, and that creates in her a sense of urgency, a constant fear of losing him. And suddenly there she is, thinking about him non-stop, imagining how to keep this guy around. Now don't get confused. Showing detachment doesn't mean being cold or rude. It's not about treating her badly or acting indifferent. The trick here is simple. Value your own life as much as you value hers. When you do that, she sees you as a high-value man, someone with options who won't hesitate to walk away if he doesn't get what he deserves. And that, my friend, is what will keep her thinking about you day and night. She'll realize that if she doesn't figure out how to hold on to you, she'll lose something valuable. And guess what? That feeling is a powerful trigger. While you're showing that you're perfectly capable of living without her, it lights something in her that makes her wonder, why isn't he begging for my attention? Does he have someone else? Am I not good enough? That kind of thought is what keeps you front and center in her mind. While the guy who crawls after every crumb of affection fades away, the man who maintains his dignity, who doesn't lower himself, and who values his time, takes up prime real estate in her thoughts. So, the next time you feel tempted to be too available or accept any leftover attention, stop and ask yourself, is that the guy I want to be? The one begging for affection or the one making her realize she needs to fight to keep me around? Show that you have your own life, your own ambitions, and that she needs to earn her spot in it, not the other way around. When you adopt that mindset, she'll chase after you. If you're tired of being the doormat she only remembers when she needs something, it's time to wake up. Want to learn how to truly get inside her mind without begging for attention? Read the ebook in the description of this video. After reading it, you'll discover how to use the power of detachment and make it clear that you don't need her to be happy. Stop being the desperate nice guy. It's time to be the man she truly values. Either stand up for yourself now or keep being ignored. The choice is yours. Number 4, the one who understands mystery is more attractive than being obvious. Let's get serious now. Do you honestly think being completely transparent and predictable is going to keep her interest in the long run? Ah, my friend, what a fantasy. The truth is much crueler and much simpler. People are interested in what they can't fully figure out. If you always act the same way, say exactly what you think at all times, and let her read you like an open book, I hate to break it to you, but she's going to figure you out faster than you can imagine. And when that happens, do you know what comes next? Forgetting. Because to her, you become part of the past. A guy she's already understood from top to bottom, with nothing more to offer in terms of mystery. Now, the man she can't stop thinking about is the one who keeps a sense of mystery. And I'm not telling you to be dishonest or hide serious things. This isn't about being deceitful, but about having the skill not to expose everything about yourself.
Man, this is an art!
Give her a taste, but never reveal the full meal. Curiosity is a powerful weapon, and the woman who is always intrigued, wanting to know more about you, is going to have you stuck in her mind. She'll be wondering, what did he mean by that? Why is he acting like this? What's he going to do next? And do you know what this causes? She starts thinking about you all the time. That's the guy she wants, the one who's never 100% predictable, who leaves her wanting more. Now, if you're the type who thinks handing everything over right away is a good strategy, I'm sorry, but you're sabotaging your own game. If you tell everything, expose yourself completely, and reveal every detail of who you are, the story will end quickly. Where's the challenge? Where's the excitement? She's going to file you away under easy-to-read guise and move on to the next one, and it won't even take much effort. Just be the guy who's always there, explaining every move, revealing every thought, handing everything over on a silver platter, and boom, you lose your charm. After all, who wants to keep playing a game when they already know all the rules? Keeping mystery alive is a balance that few understand. It's knowing when to show a little and when to hold a card close to your chest. It's about being interesting enough for her to stay intrigued, but never so predictable that you become boring. Mystery fuels curiosity, and curiosity is the engine that keeps her thinking about you. And trust me, while she's trying to figure out who you really are, you're gaining more and more space in her mind. Let's be honest, the guy who can pull this off not only stays in her mind, but also stands out in a sea of predictable, boring guys. He becomes the puzzle she wants to solve. Want to be unforgettable? Then stop being so obvious, keep a few cards hidden, and leave her wanting to know more. She'll come back, again and again, just to see if she can figure out what, in reality, you'll never fully let her discover. That's the game. Number 5, the one who has confidence but doesn't need to be a jerk about it. Let me open your eyes. Women love confidence, yes. But please, don't confuse confidence with arrogance, because the gap between being secure and being a complete jerk is massive. The guy who's truly confident doesn't need to step on others to feel big. He knows his worth and carries himself with a calmness that leaves everyone in the dust without even saying a word. And it's that quiet confidence, that posture of someone who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, that makes him stand out. This isn't the guy trying to grab everyone's attention all the time, nor is he the one constantly at the center bragging. No, he moves through life as if he already knows he has everything he needs because, in reality, he does. And that type of silent confidence is a magnet. She remembers him because he's not desperate to be noticed. He's the kind of man who, without having to raise his voice or puff out his chest, makes her feel secure and protected. And at the same time, that tranquility fascinates her. Why? Because she knows she's with someone who won't crumble at the first sign of trouble. This is the guy who's in control of his own life and doesn't need to keep proving it every 5 minutes. Now, confidence without arrogance, my friend, is rare. And what's rare becomes irresistible. The man who knows his worth but doesn't need to shove it in everyone's face will always be the one who stands out among the crowd of arrogant show-offs. So, if you're one of those who constantly needs to tell everyone how great you are or how much you have, maybe it's time to rethink your strategy. The man she can't forget is the one who's so confident in himself that he doesn't need anyone's approval. He's secure without being obnoxious, and that combination is lethal. You know that guy who walks into a room and doesn't need to make a fuss? He's not bragging, not forcing friendships, but you can feel his presence. That's the kind of confidence I'm talking about. She'll notice, and she won't forget. Because while the arrogant guy is easily discarded, the truly confident man stays. Number 6, the one who doesn't always play the nice guy card. Let me give you a tip. If you think saying yes, ma'am, to everything she says is going to keep her interested, you're living in a fantasy world, brother. It's not about being the nice guy who agrees with everything and caters to her every whim, like a robot programmed to please. The truth, what really keeps her intrigued, thinking about you, is the challenge. And I'm not talking about silly games, but challenging her in an intelligent way. The man who makes her think, who tests her ideas, who isn't afraid to disagree with her opinions, is the one who's going to occupy space in her mind. Now think with me, a relationship where everything is easy, predictable, an endless exchange of favors and agreements. That's nothing but a recipe for boredom. She wants someone who takes her out of her comfort zone, who challenges the status quo. When you're the guy who raises questions, who proposes conversations that go beyond the surface and makes her reflect on what she thinks, you stop being just another guy and become someone who truly moves her. And that kind of challenge is what keeps the game interesting. Don't agree with everything? Great! Go ahead. Wave your flag, state your opinions, and challenge hers. That mental stimulation is what keeps her thinking about you. Do you know what most guys get wrong? They think that being the most agreeable, the easiest to deal with, is what's going to keep her around. But the truth is, what she really wants is someone who makes her think, who challenges her in a healthy way, without arrogance but with firmness. Be the man who brings new conversations, who puts a different perspective on the table, and with that, pulls her out of the mental monotony. That's the kind of man she can't forget, because while the others are easy to predict, you're the one making her rethink, reflect, and in the end, want more. Number 7. The one who won't accept disrespect. Now it's time for a real wake-up call. Do you seriously think lowering your head and accepting whatever crumbs of respect she throws at you is going to get you anywhere? Really? Grow up! The man a woman truly values, the one she respects for real, isn't the guy who swallows disrespect and pretends everything is okay. He's the one who knows his own worth and, more importantly, doesn't tolerate disrespect. At any level, do you want to be her doormat? Do you want to stay stuck in that position of, well, at least she notices me? What a joke. Because while you're there accepting being ignored, treated with indifference, or worse, as a backup plan, she couldn't care less. Yeah, you heard me right. She doesn't respect someone who doesn't respect himself. And you know what? She shouldn't. If you can't even bother to stand up for yourself, why would she treat you any differently? The man a woman can't forget, the one etched in her mind, is the guy who draws a line and doesn't let anyone cross it. He doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to make a scene, but the moment respect is gone, so is he. He doesn't give second chances to disrespect, doesn't compromise his principles, doesn't beg for consideration. She quickly realizes this kind of man is different, that he won't accept scraps of attention or being treated like anyone else. And you know what happens? She respects him, and more than that, she fears losing a man like that because she knows she won't find another like him. Now look at yourself. Always available, accepting being ignored, settling for the bare minimum. And then you wonder why things don't work out. Want a reality check? You're not respected because you don't respect yourself. A man who knows his own value doesn't beg for attention, doesn't let himself be pushed around. He knows when it's time to say enough and walk away, without looking back. So, if you want to be the guy she can't get out of her head, stop being the fool who accepts anything. Stand your ground. Because the moment you start truly valuing yourself, the game changes. And that's when she realizes she lost the guy she should have never let go of. If you've made it this far and still think the secret to keeping a woman interested is being available 24/7, pleasing her at every turn, and accepting any form of disrespect, congratulations, you're playing the game completely wrong. The man she can't get out of her head, the one hammering away in her mind, is the one with the courage to value himself. He doesn't beg, doesn't grovel, and most importantly, doesn't accept being treated like just anyone. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. That's the reason for so much failure. And what hurts the most? Deep down, you know this. You know that as long as you don't draw that line, as long as you don't put yourself in your rightful place, you'll continue being just another guy. But the moment you lift your head, pound your chest, and understand your worth, the game changes. Not just with her, but with everyone. And that's when you'll finally understand that respect, my friend, isn't asked for. It's demanded. So stand up, fix your posture, and stop accepting scraps. Because in the end, only those who value themselves are remembered. And who do you want to be? That's it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and start changing the game today. See you in the next video.